This was the most action-packed, unique Bahamas trip of my entire life. Not only is the spearfishing epic, but we got absolutely unreal films of every single moment. We have some wild fails. We had some really, really good success. New fish were landed, and we had an absolute blast diving hard the whole time. Stick along for an epic episode. This is Nick Bailey Spearfishing. This will be home for the foreseeable future. We don't really know when we're coming back yet.
3 to 5 business days, I told my wife.
Really, really pumped. It's just us, which is crazy. I've definitely never done that before, but I could not ask for a better dive partner. We're gonna have a lot of fun in the next few days.
We're gonna get a lot of fish. We're stoked. Yeah. Life is good. It's a beautiful day.
We had this awesome plan that our boy was gonna run the boat every day, but he just let me know as we arrived that he ended up having to go to Palm Beach for something. So he's in Florida, and now we've kind of realized, what do you do with 2 guys in the Bahamas? And I've been going here my entire life, so I definitely have enough friends. I'm sure we can find someone to drive for us. But that is the mission now.
All right, fun today.
Look what we got. You ready for this?
20 up yourself, they call me 20.
I have no idea what to expect. All I know is we're gonna have fun. We just got to the first spot. I'm suiting up and Ryan got in to check it out. He already said there's a grouper for me, so I think it's time. Something very unique about this trip is that we filmed almost everything in third person. I think it looks way, way better, and honestly, I really enjoy filming, so we had a ton of fun doing this. We followed a yellowfin grouper into a cave, and I had my light handy, loaded my Rife Mamba pole spear, and let it fly. I always try to make sure I have a pretty good breathe up so I can get groupers out of the hole in the same dive, because otherwise it can become a nightmare. They can flare their gills out like he's doing right now inside of the reef and make it really, really difficult to pull them out. Very, very solid fish to start the day out. One of my favorites to shoot and one of my favorites to eat. Yeah, you. This entire first day, all we were doing was exploring. So we're checking out new spots. Right here, we're over some pretty dead bottom, but we noticed a hogfish from the surface, so I took a dive. And one thing you'll notice is that I'm always taking my time. For one, that's not to spook the fish, but for 2, if there's anything else around that I don't see before, I might get a chance to see it come in now. And on this dive, something crazy happened. So you see that second hogfish is coming in the back. Right as they line up, I take the shot. Could not believe it. 2 nice hogfish in one shot with a pole spear is something I did not expect. I've managed to pull off a lot of 2-for-1s with spear guns, but I don't think I've ever done it intentionally with a pole spear until now.
Oh my God! 2 hogfish, 1 shot, baby! I've never seen that done. Wow. Oh. Bro, what? Just took down 2 hogs in 1 shot.
Awesome, man. You gotta wash off, man. Wash that shit off.
So now Ryan's up to bat. We're in some very gnarly current drifting, spotted this beautiful grouper. He's headed down and just takes the shot a second late. I came up to the surface. He stayed on 1 dive, kept his pole spear in his hand, reloaded, found the fish. I went back down, and he gets a shot right here. Problem is, now he cannot retrieve that fish in 1 dive because he was a bit gassed, and the fish looks quite tangled. Luckily though, Ryan happens to be pretty dang good at this, so I'm confident we'll land the fish in the very next dive. Caught our breath, came back down. This fish is absolute shark bait right now. So Ryan comes down with the knife, Wants to brain that fish, 1, to stop the sharks, and 2, because it's the right thing to do for the fish. We use Dyneema slip tips, so it really, really helps that we can cut that slip tip line with our dive knife, and that is what Ryan is trying to do here. Finds it, is able to pull the fish out, and now get the spear. Finally, we're done fighting that current, which was pretty difficult, and he's got himself a really nice fish. On this one, I'm bringing the Hawaiian sling down, and the visibility got a bit worse from the outgoing tide, so we're headed straight to the bottom to see if we can see our target species from there. Had no idea if anything would come in at all, but the spot definitely looked nice. As soon as I got to the bottom, a beautiful hogfish comes in to check me out. I have so much fun using the Hawaiian sling. I think it's because I find it to be way more difficult, and I'm only now getting decent with it. I was really stoked on this shot. There's a few factors that make it much more difficult than a pole spear. For one, it requires 2 hands to keep loaded. So if you can't hands-free equalize, then you need to be picky about when you load. I try to load right before I shoot, but that's also difficult because now you're making an excessive movement, and sometimes that spooks the fish. You can definitely see the loading fumble in this video. So I'm cruising down in this cave. There's some yellowmouth grouper in here, which are a top species for me. But every time that I load back, I'm kind of spooking them. This was an epic first day, and we were very happy with how we did. So it was time to cruise back after this dive. Very last dive of the day. Though I wasn't successful, I still thought this was a super interesting hunt and dive. Swimming through the cave with the Hawaiian sling, just weird structure. I thought it was rad. A lot of our evenings are spent like this, just chilling on the beach, making food, and filleting fish. I was so exhausted after this day, being that it was a crossing day and we definitely dove until it was late. We needed our rest to get back out there early the next morning. We headed out to some new areas, hoping for clear water and some interesting new spots. Ryan's heading down to the bottom. We saw a Kubera snapper from the surface, so he is just trying to see if he can gain some curiosity. Didn't take long. Got a nice spine shot and secured the fish in one dive. Makes a really big difference for sharks. That barracuda behind him definitely wanted that fish as well. In a cave exploring a little bit, ran into this little nurse shark taking a nap, kind of spooked him off, and I didn't expect to see this on my way out. Big yellowfin grouper. So I surfaced and yelled at Ryan to come over. He is heading down, gonna see if he can get a shot. Ryan actually used to hold the Polespear world record for yellowfin grouper at one point, and he absolutely loves to shoot them. He snuck between some caves and is kind of just crawling towards the fish. This is definitely a Mediterranean style hunt. Super interesting watching him use the techniques that he's learned around the world. Through that pole spear, got a decent shot, definitely a good holding shot, and pulled this fish out before it could even hide away in that cave. I know I've said it many times, but that makes the biggest difference, getting that fish in one dive. This one was super pretty. They call them a fireback when they're all red like this. Definitely the craziest clip of the trip right here. Really big black grouper meets me mid-column, and I stick him out in the open. I get absolutely towed. This actually messed up my ears a bit because I didn't have time to equalize. And unfortunately, his gills got barely stuck in this hole, but I kept him off the edge of it long enough that he wasn't able to go too deep after I resurfaced. So I breathed up for about 4 minutes, came back down, and was ready to try to get this fish out. I didn't know if it would be a hard dive, but based on most of the pole spear being out, figured it might not be bad. The fish was on the edge of the hole and was able to pull him right out. I was pretty excited because this was definitely the biggest black grouper I've ever speared on a pole spear. I've always thought these fish were super cool, and spearing them, especially out in the open, is quite rare. These groupers are super cool, and they're delicious, but I think they've gotten too much pressure in the last 5 to 10 years. So I think I'll be leaving the bigger ones to breed and just harvesting a smaller one every once in a while to feed the family. That being said, I was still super stoked on this fish, but from now on, I think I'd really rather shoot them with a camera than a spear. I saw a big lobster walk from the open into this ledge, so I figured that might be a good sign of life, and I just went down to film it. You can see a Nassau grouper right there, and that big old lobster just crawling around. Lucky for him, it is not lobster season. Figured we should probably check this ledge with a light, so here's Ryan going down to go see what he can find. I don't know why, but I feel like hunting in caves is one of my favorite things to do. He's loading up so that he is ready, just in case there's a grouper or a snapper in here. We did see a mutton snapper while we were breathing up going to this hole. Convenient to keep a flashlight on you at all times, and he's going deep. I had no idea what he was shooting right here. Honestly, I was assuming it was a mutton snapper, but he ended up finding a yellowfin grouper in there that neither of us had even seen in the first place. We were pretty exhausted. This is usually what my ride back looks like from diving. Energy drink in one hand, any sort of protein I can get my hands on in the other hand. This day it was beef jerky. We ran into some friends at the dock, and we all decided to go diving together the next day. Well, it is a very windy day today, and we have picked up some stragglers on the dock. What up, boys? Are y'all ready? You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're gonna head out and dive some real shallow spots. Ryan's absolute favorite. I believe he'll be behind the wheel for a good portion of the day.
Miserable. The heads are miserable. I won't do it.
Ryan refuses to dive coral heads. That's all I grew up doing, actually, for the first like 6 years that I was over here spearfishing.
Yeah, but you're supposed to grow out of it.
I did, until the wind kicks up. See if we can avoid some storms, go shoot a couple fish. Well, I was down to dive some coral heads. Ryan was very much not down to dive some coral heads. So we compromised and did not dive coral heads. So here's me going down big mutton, and I took a real long shot with the sling. Probably the longest shot I've hit a mutton with the sling so far. But man, this thing was just doing perfect circles right to where I could not catch up with him. Anytime I got close, he'd do one last kick where I couldn't get him. So I just came up, caught my breath, and went back down to retrieve him right here. I thought for sure while I was breathing up a shark was going to come in and eat this fish because it was completely exposed, just flailing and bleeding. But fortunately, we did not see a shark. So I went down, pulled my knife out, just brained it right here, and came up with a really nice mutton. Now I'm starting to get really confident with the sling. I feel like I can pretty much stone anything, and if I can hit a mutton from super far, there's no way I'm not going to stone this hogfish. Unless, of course, I just completely whiff, like I did right there. Ryan is up. He's going to show me how to shoot a hogfish because I am quite obviously incapable, even from all of 4 inches from my spear tip. Okay, maybe not the stone shot we were looking for, but at least he didn't completely miss his. The next hog, Ryan actually pointed out to me and said I could try for some redemption. So this time I knew I could not miss, and I really wanted to stone this fish. I was taking my time and probably took a bit too long because I started spooking them. Sometimes you can catch up to the hogfish if they're not too wary of you. So I'm not doing any insane kicking here, but I'm definitely just trying to close the gap. Consider it redeemed. Stoked to stone that nice hog. So we drifted out a bit deeper, and now I'm doing a bottom drop. Gonna lay down and see if I can call any fish in because the viz wasn't quite good enough to see fish from the surface. Right about here, I notice a big mutton snapper coming in. So I try to discreetly load, but also get that pole spear loaded quickly because the mutton's coming towards me. There's actually a big barracuda right in front of me as well. The fish ends up going directly behind it, and as I shoot, my grip glides off of the top of the barracuda's head, making me completely miss that mutton snapper. We reset back in the shallows, and it was pretty dead. Probably did about 5 or 6 dives each that looked just like this without really seeing much. Ryan passed right by a little mutton on the way down. He's just scanning the surrounding areas, making sure that there's not a little bit of a bigger one or a different species he'd rather shoot. And then he is ready when that same fish comes back. I ended up finding a super cool spot. And on this first drop, I've never seen any of this structure before. I can tell it's gonna be really good. And one of my dive buddies just told me that he saw a whole wall of cubera snapper. So I'm already loaded now on the bottom, and there's cuberas everywhere. Looking back, this one right here that comes up, I definitely should have just shot. But I held off, and I was looking for a bigger one. Ended up realizing they were all about similar size, and I think this one was a couple of pounds smaller than that first one, but very happy with my shot right there. Shooting a cubera in the open, especially when there's a whole bunch around, just really gets me going. One of my dive buddies told me that he noticed a few fish spook in and out of this cave, so I went down, loaded up, ready, and I wanted to investigate. Ryan's following me down, and honestly, I did not expect this cave to be nearly as big as it was. This type of structure is pretty rare. As I'm coming through, I'm seeing a big blackjack, grouper spooking, and then right as the camera kind of pans through, you can start to see cubera snappers on the other side. It's probably about a 35-foot tunnel, and by the time that I got out to the other side, I wasn't really ready to hunt these cuberas. Decided to come up and We actually watched a really nice grouper spook out of there, and Cole followed it down. We'll show you what happens here. Being already loaded is absolutely key for this. You're only going to get a split second most of the time. It was facing him. He smacked that fish right as it was quartering away and got a really, really solid shot. So this is Cole's first black on a pole spear. Being that we're in 58 feet, which I do believe is his deepest dive, I was a little bit worried that he wouldn't be able to get the fish out. But he goes down, he starts pulling, and sure enough, he pulls that grouper out with ease. Super, super rad to watch this, and I could not have been more pumped for him. This is a fish I'm sure he will not forget for a long time.
Cole got him a black! And it's a stud, dude! Alright, let's get in the back of the boat. Oh yeah. Yeah, boy.
Well, that was the perfect way to end the day. Epic black grouper, 29 pounds and in a very respectable depth. Super pumped for Cole on that one. Now it's time to head back, get some sleep, get ready to head home the next day.
We are headed back. Got some real fun diving on the way home. But the weather's really, really bad. Rainy, shitty, windy. What are you gonna do? All right, we are at the end of the earth. Some of my very special little potholes. 30 feet of water. I was born to kill. Ethan's up to bat.
100% of the time, I can look in this hole and either see a big fish or a big lobster. I look in, there's a medium-sized lobster, and as I continue looking around with my light, I notice a monster dog snapper. This fish is probably pushing about 20 pounds. Super cool to see this fish in that hole, but not on the target species list. So we're letting him swim. A diver had definitely messed with this hogfish before because he did not want to be shot. Ethan chased this fish down from pretty dang far away, managed to get a good holding shot, and land the fish in one dive. So we took Ethan diving the day before, and while we were all out on the boat, his boat had to leave because there was an emergency. So he ended up crossing back with us, and we made a really awesome friend. There's nothing too crazy about this dive except for the fish that he lands. So I'm just gonna let you guys watch how this one plays out. Super, super cool. You're probably thinking that's a weird looking grouper. It is. It's a yellowmouth grouper. They're almost like a cod, but they're absolutely fantastic to eat and they're quite rare. That also happens to be a really big one. Yellowmouth do not get big at all. Saw a nice black grouper, so Ryan is headed down trying to shoot him. Unfortunately, he's got a pretty dang skinny pole spear in his hand. You're gonna see why having a thicker pole spear in your hand when you're targeting black grouper is pretty necessary. Drills it, and almost instantly that fish snaps his pole spear. Luckily, it went right back into a hole, and after a few dives, we found the fish again. Finally, after we found that fish, he has got another pole spear in his hand, and he's ready this time. This Swiss cheese bottom has so many different nooks and crannies that we did not find the fish right where he was before. Took us about 10 dives. Ryan puts a good shot in the fish right here, and now he really, really wants to get it out in this dive. We breathed up for a long time to prepare for this one because we knew the extraction could be a pain. This type of bottom is just easy for them to get real stuck in. And man, Ryan is just not having it on the bottom right now. He wants it out so bad. But he perseveres, and after some really gnarly pulling, ends up getting the fish. Definitely put our work in for this one. My turn again, and this time it's a really nice yellowfin grouper. Considering what happened with Ryan's grouper, I really wanted to get a good breathe up in case it would take me a while to get the fish out in one dive. Took my time and got another awesome shot. This fish definitely wanted to wrap me up, but I secured him. Braining and bleeding your fish makes a really, really big difference in the meat quality, and it's definitely the humane thing to do. It has now gotten pretty rough. We're gonna go get beat for the next 2 hours. But man, overall, epic trip.
5 days all alone, picking up random strays like this guy in the back. New best friend. Hell of a trip, bro. You crushed it. You absolutely crushed it.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I look forward to sharing many more very soon.